Hey, this is Paul from Guitar World, and today we'll be looking at one of the most sophisticated and versatile amps I've come across thus far. It is the ENGL Amps Special Edition. Now, this particular amp has every possible knob, buttons, features, LEDs. I think the only thing that's missing out of this amp is a navigation system. But I will take you through this amp and show you how easy it is to work and really get the guitar sound you're looking for. Let's check it out. The ENGL Special Edition head is a 100-watt 6L6 powered head that has 4 channels with options for multiple voicings on each channel. Now, to get the most out of this amp, you're obviously going to need a MIDI foot controller or ENGL's MIDI foot controller over here, because you're really going to want to store all the possible sounds and settings that you can get out of this amp, because this amp does everything to clean, to crunch, to lead, to metal, to just about everything you can conceive. And the best way to do that is to store all those settings on this amp and access them via MIDI. So let's take a look at each channel and how it works. The best way to look at the Special Edition is to break up the knobs and buttons from the top row to the bottom row. So I'm going to start on the top so you get an idea, which is basically the first 2 channels. So we'll start over here. The first 2 channels are the clean and crunch. And you can see we have some buttons here, but I'll talk about that in a minute. We have the clean gain, so you can set your clean or the amount of gain, especially when you have a humbucker equipped guitar or a single coil. You tend to roll it off or add more, depending on the type of clean sound you're looking for. And then we have the crunch gain. Now, the clean and crunch channels share the same bass and middle EQ section, but what sets it apart, of course, is the treble part of the EQ section. You can set the treble for the clean on this knob and the treble for the crunch on this knob. There's also a master reverb for these two channels. Then there's the clean volume and then the crunch volume. And then there's a dual presence for both these channels. So you can set a master presence for A, which obviously governs all 4 channels, and then a separate presence, which governs all 4 channels as well. So you basically get 2 modes of presence for all 4 channels on the top. Moving over to the bottom here, we look at the third and fourth channels, which are lead 1 and lead 2. So you have the lead 1 gain knob over here and the lead 2 gain knob. Lead 1 obviously is a little more, the lead 1 channel is a little more responsive. It's quicker with less gain on this channel. So it has a little bit of a faster response in the attack. Of course, lead 2 has a lot more gain, so you really can get a lot out of it. And then, of course, using the same idea on the top panel, the lead 1 and lead 2 share the same EQ for bass and middle, and then for the treble knobs, you have lead 1 treble knob and then the lead 2 treble knob. They share the same reverb on this channel, and then there's the lead 1 volume and lead 2 volume. And then again, just like the presence, we have 2 different overall global master volumes, the global master A and the global master B that governs all the channels. So basically, there's a lot of tweakability for all 4 channels on this amp. Last but not least, there is a built-in tube driver circuit on this amp. So it acts as sort of a 5th channel or a preamp defeat, which is really cool. And you can activate the tube driver. All the controls are in the back. So you basically can activate the tube driver circuit via this button, or you can have the tube driver with EQ, and the EQ buttons are on the back. So you can use this as a separate 5th channel, or say if you're using a Brian-made pedal that you really like the sound and you want to activate that via MIDI, just going into that, you would use the tube driver circuit as a sort of a preamp that defeats all the other channels on this amp. So you really get a really unprocessed 5th channel on this amp. Very cool. Finally, I'm running through an ENGL 412 vintage cabinet, which is loaded with Celestion Vintage 30 speakers. Right now, I'm on the clean channel with none of the voicing buttons engaged except for the depth and the reverb. So let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, now let's turn on the gain boost on this so you can hear what a little bit of dirt on the clean channel sounds like. Now I'm going to turn on the normal bright and the ultra bright. So here's the clean channel with both the bright buttons engaged. Now let's bounce over to the crunch by simply hitting the button on the crunch channel. And let's take out both the bright switches and hear what that sounds like. And now let's hear the crunch channel with both the bright buttons engaged as well. Here we go. Okay, let's move over to the lead one channel, engaging it right like that. Right now I have the high gain button off, and I only have the contour button, which is active at the moment. So let's hear what this channel sounds like. Now let's hear the lead one channel when I engage the high gain button. Here we go. Now let's move over to the lead 2 channel, and this particular channel has a lot of gain and can be very noisy as well. So you might want to put the noise gate on this channel, but let's take a listen and hear that with the high gain button activated, and I'll take out the mid edge and leave the contour on. Here we go. Sticking with the metal theme here, this review wouldn't be complete without me activating the mega low punch button. So right now I have the depth boost, so let's hear what that sounds like. Now let's activate the mega low punch. Here we go. Let me just quickly show you the tube driver circuit, what ENGL calls is their 5th channel, which basically defeats the 4 channels in here, and you basically have that 5th sounding channel where you can put anything through it. Here is just the tube driver circuit. And if you wish to further EQ that, you would just hit the tube driver with EQ, because the EQ controls are on the back as well. So let's hear that. The ENGL Special Edition is the height of German engineering. It is the most versatile, sound-shaping amplifier available. From clean to country, from rock to metal, you can do it all with this amp. Check it out.